Hey, good morning. All right, I just want to go over a couple things that maybe some people haven't seen yet, but most I'm sure have. Look, the definition of force, right? Force, as in Revelations 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And you know, it kind of means what it says, but right hand doesn't necessarily mean right hand. When you take that word back to its origin, looking at the lexicons, it means your right side or your ability to work or do work, or strength affects your strength and ability, right? Or in their foreheads, and might not necessarily mean something stamped or imprinted on your head, because some people don't have arms or hands or whatever, but for the most part, it means affects your mental state of being. Okay, it affects you somehow mentally. Okay, maybe the things you think, or your ability to process information, or and I know it sounds crazy, but there's videos and what are they, through the Freedom of Information Act, there's records and documents showing that they've tried to produce a toxin or chemical that would block off that section of your brain that lights up when people are in prayer and things like that. Okay, and it was supposedly to be used for, I got to watch what I say, for people who were, man, I wish I had better communication skills, overly zealous about their particular religious beliefs. Say that. Okay, and that's what supposedly they were designing it for. And that was years and years and years ago. Okay, so understand that. So force, this word force, it's strength or energy exerted to, or brought to bear, a cause of motion or change, Uh, it's used with number to indicate the strength of the wind, according to Beaufort scale. It's moral and mental strength, the capacity to persuade or convince, a body of troops or ships assigned to a military purpose. Okay, using military to force. Okay, uh, the whole military strength, a body of persons or things available for a particular end. An individual or group having the power, given the power of effective action, given the power to act. So, a body of persons that have been given the power to act. Um, and then it also goes on. It means violence, compulsion, constraint exerted upon or against a person or thing. Okay, an agency, governing body perhaps, that can influence, if applied to a free body. Um, any of natural influences, electromagnetism, gravity, the strong force and the weak force that exist, especially between particles, and determine the structure of the universe. Okay, to do violence, to compel someone with physical, moral, or intellectual means, to make or cause, especially through natural or logical necessity, to press, to drive past, or effect against resistance and inertia, to impose or thrust urgently, importunately, or inexorably, to achieve or win by strength in a struggle of violence, to win one's way, to break open, to raise or accelerate to the utmost, produce to produce only with unnatural or unwilling effort. To wrench, to strain. Okay, so there's force. That's the definition of force. Okay, so now what's the definition of mandate? See, mandate. Definition of mandate: an authoritative command, a formal order from a superior court to an inferior one, an authorization to act, just like it said in force, an authorization to act. Okay, an order or commission granted by a League of Nations or a member nation for the establishment of a responsible government over a colony or other conquered territory. Conquered territory. Given the authorization to act over a conquered territory. What are all of us? We're a kingdom within ourselves, a kingdom that's been divided. So either you belong to this kingdom here, or you belong to his kingdom there. Okay, and Christ came here to set you at one again, correct that duality. Your good and evil, your physical and spiritual, to bring them together so your spiritual can, so when you're born again and indwelt by a spirit, can overcome your flesh, your fleshly lusts and desires to sin, because by its very nature, all through the Bible, our flesh is in contrast to God, in direct opposition. It has a sinful nature. Okay, so let's read Revelation 13:16 again. And he causes all, he forces all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, so now let's go to this. When you look up that definition for mark in that verse, okay, that can be taken to G5482. Okay, G5482. And it means a pale, a stake, a palisade, or a rampart. Pales between which earth, stones, trees, and timbers are heaped together or packed together. Okay, through the idea of scratching or etching, something that's sharpened to a point. Okay, sharpened to a point through the idea of scratching. A stake, that is by implication a palisade or a rampart, such as in a military mound for circumvallation in a siege around a trench. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, here's some palisades, right? Old ones, not necessarily made out of a steel, but it could also look a palisade like the end of a perhaps a needle. Okay, can look like that. Something is sharpened to a point. Okay, so there's a palisade, right there, and here's such as a military entrenchment made out of palisades, right? Look at that. There we go. Okay, so there's that, like in a battle. Okay, now look at this. Here we go. Look at that. That's the end of what most likely is coming. And we all know that there's multiple patents on this thing that went out way before this whole thing even started. They were putting patents on it. That's a close-up of the sharp palisade like micro needles in the coming mark of the beast. Okay, it can be put on like they have a band-aid type thing that has this on it that can be pressed and rubbed into you. That's a permanent mark that will hold information, such as perhaps a date of when you received this mark of the beast, and all your medical and banking and identification, all those things, right? And it means a scratch, a stamp. It comes from the root word Carmax, can mean sharpened to a point, such as a palisade, such that'll go into a recipient's body all at the same time to deliver both things at once. To mark you, to identify you, such as when horse or cattle are branded to show ownership of who they belong to. Okay, if you don't think this is it, if you're saying, oh no, this isn't it, I can't help you. You really need to study the Bible by looking at all the lexicons, the pictographic languages it was written in, and you will get these details. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Okay, You have to be led by His Spirit. And everything He's been showing me, especially the last couple verses that I went over, saying we're at the end. You have to decide. You have to pass this hour of testing. And that's by becoming born again and standing firm, being established in His Word, connected to Him. So no matter what goes on in this world, what happens, you no longer fear death. You're standing firm, standing strong for Christ and His Word, because you're born again in the Spirit. Your veil has been lifted by your bridegroom, who's the only one that has the authority to do so. You can hear Him. My sheep hear my voice. Okay, you can understand His Word because you're being taught by His Spirit directly. Okay, and look, some of these verses, the one I went over yesterday too, it's the words in it and the things that He showed me yesterday, even after I put that out, He just confirms His Word. I know He speaks to me. I might not be the best at giving it out because I my speech, and I can't I don't have really great communication skills, but man, I hear His voice, and I just wish I could give out what He's pouring into me better. But look, this is it. We've reached that moment. We've passed that point of no return. All right, you're going to have to make a stand. You're going to have to stand for what you believe in, no matter what the cost. And you've passed this hour of testing once you're born again of the Spirit, because you'll understand, and you no longer fear this world. Don't fear them who can destroy your body or kill your flesh. Okay, have respect for God, and who can destroy your soul. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? You have to make a decision. Are you going to take the mark of the beast, or are you not? And if like I said, I don't believe we've been taught right about many things in the Bible. We're reading translation of men from a fleshly perspective. Look, we're born into death and condemnation, separated from God spiritually. That's why Jesus told Nicodemus in John 3, you must be born again of the Spirit. You have to be reconciled back to God spiritually. We disobeyed Him. You just don't understand. And people say, oh, if God's so good, why is this world? Because this world's a punishment for our disobedience. We've all partaken of that fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's our bodies, it's our flesh. And if you can't see that, I don't know what else to tell you. You just need to really get on your knees and humble yourself before the Lord and ask Him to reveal the truth to you. You have to want to know the truth more than anything else. I want to go home. I want to be with Him. Okay, I want to know the truth more than anything else. I want a relationship with my Creator, my Heavenly Father. It's a whole different plane of existence. It's paradise. It's perfection, and we were led astray, thinking we could become like the Most High, knowing good and evil. But He knew how wicked and evil it was, and He forbid it. He allowed it. We were given free will, which is a gift from God. Free will. You have to freely choose in your mind. There's where the battle is fought, over your mind. Who are you joining yourself to? Okay, I don't know how else to explain it. I wish I could do a better job. But there's that. Understand where we're at, because you have to make up your mind. The time's short. These people, look up HB 4471 on YouTube if you can still get it. HB 4471. It's from a professional who is an expert in this field of all these things, and it's a very good, very, very good. And this is just one expert in the field out of thousands who took a stand and are losing their jobs and being blackballed, basically, and censored and everything else. And it's just one out of thousands. So anybody who has a idea of saying, oh, you got to be a good Christian and take that, really, you don't understand. You're perishing because of lack of knowledge. And that's basically what it was designed for. And I read a verse, he gave me a verse maybe a week or so ago that uh, where I said it was, I seen it, it's poison that was designed specifically for the destruction of mankind. That's what it is. That's what it is. I, I mean, just by reading the Bible, you can see exactly what's going on. Just by studying the Bible, you can see everything and correlate it. His Holy Spirit will. If you're born again in the Spirit, He reveals everything. That we're living in Revelations right now, and this is the end. You got it. You got to make up your mind. I hate to sound, you know, like a Debbie Downer, but it's a beautiful thing, man. We're about to meet our Creator, however that occurs. I don't think that rapture verse has been, I really don't think we can fully grasp the spiritual truth in it. Some things are still a little mystery. He's going to take us all home, right? Yeah. And when this physical form passes, your body is instantly caught up. Okay, if you're been reconciled back to God, you go back home. Okay. But I do see a great many going at once. So, what does that exactly mean? And he's shown me before. There's going to be WW3. I mean, this is going to occur, and this mark of the beast is just rampant, and the lies and deception about what it is and what it does is just crazy, and even people are afraid to lose their jobs and everything. Forces that's what the enemy does. They surround a city, right? They lay siege against it, and they cut off all your supplies, your every supply, your water, your food, and in this world it would be your income, unable to work, your right hand, unable, affects your ability to do work, to bring in an income to, and from what I understand, the trucking industry is taking a stand right now against this because they're trying to force all of them to take the mark of the beast too. And if that happens, what's going to happen? How long is that going to go on? If no trucks are running, or for the most part, a majority of the trucks aren't running, everything's, and they knew this would occur. Look, these people that are pulling the strings behind the scene, wicked, evil powers and principalities that are affecting and influencing the minds of people who think they're going to be in charge, they're going to be destroyed too. But only they will be destroyed ultimately by God Himself through His judgment. Eternal separation from God is death. Eternal separation from God, right? So don't fear the death of this physical form. It was never going to last anyways, right? So there's that. All right, God bless you. Love and respect everybody as best you can. I know it's difficult and getting harder. People are, the sheep and goat, wheat, tares, all that's being separated right now. There's a separating process. You have to, the battle is right here. This is where the scales are. Are you going to be found standing on the foundation, right, of His word, the gospel? The battle's here, right here. All right, it's time to wake up. Wake up, people. It's time to go. It's time to go. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye.